to all of my subscribers I've had since the beginning. Thank you for joining me. All right, so I'm gonna make this slightly short today. I'm not gonna go too long because what I have to say is very quick. Y'all know I'm very, short and straight to the point. Okay, so I titled the name of this video, America is the driver's seat of the world, because it is the driver's seat of the world. The thumbnail I use is an image of the Grand Canyon. Okay? So most of you who are aware of this, you probably already know where I'm going with this. So, anyway. So when it comes to the Grand Canyon, as you all know, there is two different parts to the Grand Canyon. There is the tourist side of the Grand Canyon, and there is the restricted area of the Grand Canyon. Now, most people have probably always wondered, why is it that there are parts of the Grand Canyon, parts of Antarctica that are restricted? Well, it's the same exact reason. They are hiding truth from you that they don't want you to find out. They don't want you to put things together. So when it comes to the Grand Canyon, the restricted areas of it are restricted because you can actually go from Arizona into the Grand Canyon and you can actually get into what they now consider so-called Africa. So you can literally walk from the Grand Canyon into the back door of Africa. Now, most people are probably going to be like, Asa'r, where are you getting this information? Well, it's in plain sight, my dears. For instance, you can actually Google it, and they actually tell you the truth. See, some things they will put in plain sight because majority of the people are not going to read. The ignorance of people not wanting to read anymore, they can put everything and anything in your face, and you're not going to read it. They hide it in plain sight. That's the funny part. That's how they know the world is ignorant, not knowing, unknowing, and lazy. So no one's going to really look. But you can actually look it up on Google. You can look it up on Wikipedia. There's some things you can look up on Wikipedia, okay? It's just some things, not everything. But there's some things like the Grand Canyon being connected to so-called Africa, Russia, Asia, Europe. Of course, they put Antarctica, but we know you follow my content since the beginning. I started to mention how Antarctica is actually a circumference that is an enclosure of a wall of ice that they have to literally get on top of using a helicopter or a plane to get up on top of the ice and keep going. You run into more lands. Within Antarctica itself, that is the main continent. It's the it's the only continent. Everything else is inside of Antarctica itself, quite literally. But to get to, you have to go underwater to get. That's where those portals are at. But when it comes to the Grand Canyon, you can get to everywhere. Africa, the Grand Canyon is connected to Africa, Russia, Europe. Everything is in that sphere for the entire Eurasia Peninsula and or Eurasia as a whole, which is Africa, Europe, Asia, one landmass. I know they try to say Russia is separate. No, Russia is a part of so-called Asia. As any authentic so-called Russian, and they'll tell you that they classify themselves as Asian because, well, outside of the governmental boundary, Russia is Asia, okay? It is. Hence, Russia, Siberia, keep going straight into Siberia. You're going to end up at the front door of Beijing, China. Yeah, that part. But the Grand Canyon being a part of the Americas, as an indigenous American Indian or the children of Israel, okay? They told you that the children of Israel own 1,000,000 miles in every direction, okay? 1,000,000 miles in every direction. That's the whole world, my dears. because so-called Africa is only just over 6,000 miles from so-called America. So-called Asia is about 8,000 miles from so-called America. You see where I'm going with this, right? So-called Europe is about 7,000, just over it, depending on where you're going. 1,000 miles from, so-called America. But the children of Israel, we own all of it, 1,000,000 miles in every direction. That is literally the entire world. Okay? As I mentioned before, these planes were literally created for you. You are the landowners of the whole world. For them to be able to control the whole world, they had to take control of the indigenous of the Americas. Okay? Whoever owns the power in the Americas owns the power for the entire world. See, they wouldn't be able to control anything had they not been able to take control of the indigenous. So when they took control of your mind, they mentally took you out of your land and put you in so-called Africa, with the exception of the ones that they actually tricked and put over in Liberia and Sierra Leone in 1820. Okay? But outside of that, they mentally took you out of your land, told you that you came from Africa and that somehow you was a slave when you was already here and this is your land. They did that so they could control you, so they could quietly take your land and you not know, because they were fighting with your ancestors. So the best way is the pen is mightier than the sword. So when they were able to take your land, they were able to take control of your buildings, your structures, your machines, literally, and I do mean machines. A lot of the ancient structures that they have repurposed for dumb means, like Capitol buildings, federal buildings, state buildings, libraries, post offices. You get it. The buildings that look the ancient Greek Roman, that they want to call Greek Roman or Greco-Roman design. Majority of those buildings were indeed machines utilizing electricity, water. They were machines. A lot of them are still in a lower capacity, still active to a degree. Okay? They had to take control of the land over here. They destroyed what they call Athens, Greece, which I mentioned a couple videos back about the White City. That is ancient Athens. Okay? They had to make a new capital, Sparta, so-called Washington, D.C. But anyway, the Grand Canyon connects America to the entire world. When I said that the lands are still one, I meant it. The Grand Canyon is the connection to the whole world. They have destroyed buildings, structures. Let me be specific. They have destroyed structures inside the Grand Canyon over the last century. Okay? They have destroyed structures. They have blown them up. They have used directed energy technology to destroy most of them. They've bulldozed. They've dynamited. Okay? The water has been sucked out of a lot of it. That's why it looks like little creeks or riverbeds. They have done all of this in order to hide what the Grand Canyon was. That is why there is pictures from the early 1920s, 1930s, that there was, as they call it, ancient Egyptian type hieroglyphs and structures in there. Because at one time, it was a city. Okay? It was a city. They destroyed it. They've hit it. But the pathway to still get from the Americas through Arizona, where the Grand Canyon is, all the way into Africa. From Africa, you can get from South Africa all the way to Europe, Asia, the whole 9 yards. So this is the driver's seat of the world. That's why these lands are so important. And that's why it's so important for them to control you. Because if you wake up and realize who you are and what you are, they lose their power over the entire world. And they know this. You're a threat, my Niji. You always have been. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this out here. This grand reset that they're trying to do, they're trying to annihilate you. Understand this. These so-called powers that be, they are trying to annihilate you once and for all. That's what they're trying to do. They realize they cannot control you. They can't lie to you as much because you always find out and figure it out. They've come too far and they definitely don't want to lose it. So they're trying to annihilate you. So just know this reset that's coming very soon, they are targeting you. The hybrid, they ain't really fucking with them as much. The hybrid is not a threat to them. You are. The real children of Israel, the descendants of the ancient people, of the ancient world, they targeting you. They want you annihilated because you threaten their power for the entire world. Not only for these lands, but to control these lands, they control the whole world. Literally. Know this. Comprehend this. One more thing I'm going to mention before I end this live, okay? You need to realize they are telling you what you want to hear, utilizing this Kanye bullshit. He's telling the truth, yes, but he's also a part of the puppet show. I don't like mentioning these stupid entertainers, okay? But he's a part of the puppet show. Know this. Believe me, if he was actually truly going against the grain of that cult, so-called Illuminati, the Moroccan Empire, now known as the Vatican Empire today, he would be dead. Obviously, he's not. Make it make sense. He's a part of the puppet show. Okay? He is the puppet. He is playing his part. They know what he's doing because he's a part of it. They told him to act the part and he did it. Now don't be a fool and fall for, he's telling the truth. He is, but no, he was told to. He was told to play the part. Just know. But like I said, America is the driver's seat. The Grand Canyon is connected to the whole world. You can get to Africa from the Grand Canyon. So-called Russia, Asia, Europe, the whole 9 yards is one landmass over there. But no, America through the Grand Canyon is connected to the whole world. Antarctica is the main continent. That is the circumference you are circled, or you're in a circumference in. That's the circular thing that they're trying to make it to a sphere. You're inside Antarctica. This is a plane. Planet etymology literally means a flat and spread out. That's what planet means. That's the etymology of it. You are on a plane. You have a dome above you. Know this. Anyway, the entire world is connected to the Americas. Know this. That's why it was so important for them to conquer, quote unquote, conquer these lands, i.e. the people. Make y'all blind, deaf, and dumb So you would never know who you were. You could take the identity of the Indian or the Hebrew, the children of Israel, but you cannot take the Indian or the Hebrew or the genetic stamp of being the children of Israel out of the children of Israel. Trust Most High, my Niji.